misalnya flag to flag race itu biasanya yang memutuskan apakah mutlak dari timnya.
Oke. Diperbolehkan ganti ban ke settingan basah. Tapi kadang-kadang kan.
Tapi kan ada yang rider nahan tuh.
Istilahnya keyakinan atau rasa percaya diri si pembalapnya sendiri untuk.
Tapi gambling banget ya.
Itu gambling banget.
Karena banget lupa auto race di mana ya. Dia nahan ya, semua udah ganti. Enggak, dia bisa masuk duluan.
Ya.
Pernah dia masuk.
Settingan yang udah dapat lap yang ban panasnya, sehingga dia mau lebih cepat tampil.
Jadi ya itu memang balik lagi ya feeling. Nah, kita akan langsung, udah berani bikin prediksi belum? 1, 2, 3.
Bisa lihat cuacanya ini sih.
Berdoa aja mudah-mudahan sih. Aku udah berani deh, Quartararo deh hari ini. Jack Miller?
Jack Miller deh.
Oke.
Marquez won in 18 and 19. Honda have the best record here in Le Mans. Ducati's first win here in Le Mans coming. Race back in 2007 on the factory Suzuki and Petrucci last year. We just saw their Marquez on board. If this does go to rip levels, there you can see on board with the world championship leader Pecco Bagnaia. 2 points, a narrow 2-point advantage of that 5th row for him. And what about Zarco? Can a Frenchman win for only the 2nd time in the Premier class? Here, home glory awaits, perhaps. We've had a French 1-2 already this year. What a time to do it again. We are ready to go here in France. 27 laps coming up around the Bugatti circuit in France. As Marquez also has got the inside line, but Miller has the lead. Here comes Quartararo at the inside. Miller will hold it though. Great start by from the 2 factory Yamahas. Quartararo drops back from pole to 3rd as they go through La Chapelle for the first time. It was initially a great start. Yeah, just left Nakagami. A couple of metres of room on the inside. Nakagami snaps straight back through. Marquez pounces again on pole to 3rd. There's Marquez ahead of his teammate Thomas Spargo, number 44. Rossi, number 46, goes through on his teammate Moore. At turn number 11, and I think he's gone down. He has gone down. He was trying to use his famous dirt track riding. First lap here in France, Miller leads from Maverick Vinales. Quartararo, the poleman, 3rd. Early tussle between the trucks. Well, it's got very, very dark. Miller's wide. Vinales takes the lead here. Miller got it loose coming out of turn 5. Bit of wheel spinning. Just a couple of laps this has been from Alex Rins. He started 15th, back of the 5th row. He's inside the top 4. Really feel. Vinales it is though. The leads here in France ahead of his good pal off circuit, Jack Miller. Yeah, it's been a poor start as well for one of the 2 big French favourites in this Grand Prix. Johan Zarco, he's back down in 10th place. Nothing going for him. Flat from him. He's starting to reel back in Vinales and Miller ahead of him. Around turn 3 we go. The treacherous turn 3, 12. And you know exactly what he's talking about. It's coming. There is Zarco then through La Chapelle. He lost another place on that last lap. He's now down 11. If I've done in pit lane said there are spots of rain now starting to fall. 25 laps to go, and we may well be well on. Cream really rise to the top in terms of bravery. Jack Miller then trying to close up on Maverick Vinales, who's wide on exit in the background there. Rins, they'll see those rain spots now on their visor on the screens. Disconcerting to see that on your visor. Very, very spots of rain. You're getting bigger. Quartararo comes into the mix. He's way too hot in there. Surely he is, but he had the inside line. Clever. How far back did he come from going into turn 3? Talk about trust and confidence in that front tyre. It's so easy to wash inside into turn 8 garage fair. You have to make sure this is precise. He's gone in and he's done that perfectly, but bouncing back and giving him a nudge. Quartararo says hello, Jack. Now in the background there you can see Marc Marquez is starting to come into the pitch. Quartararo has another long look over his left shoulder as they pitch into the Blur Essage. You can see there on the camera the rain started. Where's he gone? Whether he's just been rattled by those rain spots or whether he made a mistake at turn 4. Coming right into contention. It's the mass. Brilliant by the Frenchman. And we've got rain falling here in pit lane and on our commentary box window, a lot more than it's down on our commentary box position. Look at that, it's almost horizontal. Slick tyres on 300 horsepower about the GP bike. This is going to be hard. We cannot tell you, ladies and gentlemen at home, how scary and how dangerous this is for the riders out there on slick tyres. Situations, Quartararo got in hot there, didn't he? Into Shimano berth, totally understandable. With the rain pounding down in the 3rd. Nice bit of motor crossing there by the Australian. Surely you've got to come into pit lane, Matt. You've got to. Quartararo, he's done it. Yeah. It's raining cats and dogs. Quartararo, elbow to elbow with Marc Marquez. Those two have got history. Rins follows in behind. Garage he made the bike swap quicker. He would have known that as well. The position of the teams in the pit lane there really fell on the exit of pit lane. No, that's a mistake, surely.
Steve, how costly is that for Mir? He's just about to come into the pits.
I know.
Oh,
Rins is down immediately.
First corner. First time he's flicked it right out of the pit exit, and he's gone down. It's another both on the floor.
This is going to be hard to keep up with, but Marc Marquez leads here ahead of Fabio Quartararo.
Work out the grip levels, and he was so good.
He's really hot into turn 8 there. A little bit of a mistake and his first go down.
Trees in the background there, and that cameraman was being buffeted around there from a stationary position. The wind has just picked up unbelievably. There were a limit MotoGP of 60 kilometres an hour. Now, normally they've got a button which engages the pit lane speed limiter.
Across the line we go. It's difficult to keep up with this at the moment. Everybody came in that could come, will not want to let Marc Marquez out of his sight. Will Marquez force the Frenchman into a mistake in what is his first ever?
The Frenchman, the back of Quartararo's mind, of course, will be the championship. He won't know at the moment that the likes of Mir is out.
The drama. Nakagami and Marquez. Alex Marquez, who was second here, remember, in the wet last year, has climbed all the way up into enough in qualifying. Rins then changes machines to head out on circuit. Now, can he make it this time?
Passing it, just his third race back. At the moment, is leading this rain-affected French Grand Prix.
But let's back. Bike movement there from Marc Marquez. 1.5 seconds clear of this young man in second, number 20 on the actually moved up one spot into 9th ahead of the Aprilia.
Vinales had a great start, just keeping himself out of harm's way. That's Marc Marquez moving through on the Suzuki man. Rins has rejoined the race, it looks like, as well, with Bagnaia and Miller for speeding in the pit lane, having double long lap penalties.
Yeah, this is the man who leads the laps time. This man, after everything he's been through, was to come out victorious. There's a lot of race, but he's still got to take those long lap penalties. And if he doesn't take them within a certain amount of time... Oh, he's going!
Marquez knows it. We don't see that very often in that kind of situation. He's normally the master of mixed conditions, wet weather conditions.
Just crept the throttle on, ready to get on the power.
That was a real big smack on that long lap penalty coming his way. Marquez rejoins. A rare blunder when leading for him.
Yeah, down but not out. That'd be a tail. There are 19 laps to go. The rain has calmed a little. It's still raining out on circuit, but it has calmed down. Unlike proceedings on circuit, it's so tough to catch up with this at the moment.
It's so windy as well. It might actually dry the track quite quickly. 2-point World Championship lead over our current race leader, Fabio Quartararo.
Right, Quartararo's 2.2 up. Marquez, Aleix Spargaro, Polo Spargaro and Rossi. Marc Marquez rejoined in 18th. For those of you at home wondering.
There's already to go, but it's a lonely third right now for the Japanese man. As Steve mentioned, 13 seconds behind Miller, but 4 seconds clear of this.
It's a precise moment in time. He's in line for another top 6 finish, and it might yet get better for the rider heading to his home Grand Prix. And for the white lines, otherwise you'll have to do it again. That was neatly done. And look at that, Miller, he really hasn't lost much, has he?
Full time, 17 and a half laps to claw back that, 2-second deficit on Fabio Quartararo.
There you go. Luckily, he doesn't get points on his licence or a fine, but he had to take 2 long lap penalties. Now, we have had a hit.
Yeah, we saw Dennis Foggia in Portimao last year. That was in Moto 3 on the podium and took a double long lap penalty.
The preference.
Guys, but yeah, I'll explain. Been having a good catch up with Mint. He says, if it's a long time out there or the track dries at all, the soft rear won't.
Yeah, you can just see, Steve, in those sort of high pressure situations that a flag to flag scenario creates. When he came in for that second long lap penalty, Luke Miller, he was 2.2 seconds behind Quartararo. That advantage is shrinking by the corner.
This battle out front, Quartararo versus Jack Miller.
Quartararo's got a long lap penalty. It has just flashed up on our screens here.
Maybe he's being punished for that. Maybe, Simon, if you could check exactly why he's getting the penalty, that would help. But here comes the move from Miller.
Advantage a road for Fabio Quartararo. It's taken Miller a couple laps maximum, not only to get on par,
straight through. It looks like the rain's picked up slightly there, down at turn 8 as well. He'll hold on to second place because they've got 15.
The race, and now with the long lap penalty loop, has that already been one of the key moments of this Grand Prix?
Perhaps, I'm not sure yet. Jack Miller here would move up to 3rd overall and 20 points adrift, but it would be a 15-point lead for Quartararo.
The top 10 and doing some really good lap times.
Now, that smoke coming directly from the...
They all went with a big crash at turn 14 over the handlebars when Marquez looked like a pretty painful front to 8th place. And fact, he's the top KTM man.
Taka Nakagami there. Who's gone down? That's a KTM by the
2021 for Miguel Oliveira, isn't it? Points before today in all 4 races, but not finished higher than 11th, and
so many times. And the misery for the Portuguese rider in 2021 continues. Here is Taka Nakagami then.
Zarco's got it down to just over 2 seconds, and Nakagami's going to have big bother coming soon.
Love to bounce back here and stand on the podium here at his home circuit. Comes across the line, and he press officer from Pramac Ducati, keeping her fingers crossed for this man in 4th.
She looks like that.
7th place, Alex Rins has crashed for a 2nd time, and Suzuki can wrap up what
To be yet another no score for Alex Rins. It's been a nightmare start to the season for him.
we are circuit. He is 15th at the moment and lapping 2 seconds a lap quicker than Ika Lekawona.
Breaking that fraction later, and he does finally make up.
But it would be another weight, wouldn't it, for the Japanese rider overall. Turn 3, Simon Craper will keep us updated as Marquez there goes around the outside of Ika Lekawona to move off the spot. We'll keep you. This is now coming up soon. That is going to be 12th place, and then it will be Mr. Rossi himself next up.
Well, the 2 of the Rossi family in this MotoGP Grand Prix down into turn number 8 garage there, so Marquez
Doubling down the order unless he's made a mistake. But according to the graphic on the left, he's dropped to 11th.
Yeah, there were 2 crashes on Friday. Moment 9th. Nothing too flash from Vinales, really. He's quite confident in wet and dry can dry, but in the mixed conditions, they just could not get that rear tyre hooked up. There was no drive grip whatsoever. Quattararo reported that.
Dejected that we've seen Aleix Espargaro so far in 2021.
No power. No power. Same place as where Savadores gave up the ghost. You know, normally this year, Steve, if there's one thing that the outside both of their men out, and that was a top 6 gone for Aleix Espargaro.
Is that signal from Jack Miller to pit lane?
Tyres for me. Jack will be in trouble because he's got the soft rear on. Fabio will be in town too. Nakagami, Petrucci, Bagnaia, they're the guys on medium.
Simon, with that medium wet front and medium rear, is over a second a lap quicker than both. And it's over now. Marc Marquez is down and out this time of the French Grand Prix.
2 spills for Rins, 2 spills for Marc.
It's not. He's going round for one more lap, we could see. This is the replay of the crash at turn 6 then for Marc.
Oh, that was big as well, wasn't it? Grand Prix.
Well, if you finish the race at the moment, you're in with points. That's the way this one's come.
Of course, we did mention, or I mentioned the fact that they were 14 seconds off of the dry race pace, but the speed limiting factor, right, that's what he was making sure that he's at the back of his mind, he's thinking about the bike swap. He's thinking about that bike swap.
We're riding with now is 4.9 seconds. It's just a matter of time. It's such a gamble to come in.
Yes, guys, I reckon there's a window here, clear window with the guys medium front, medium rear, wet. It's going to be, I think you'll lose time to Johan in the next few laps. And then Johan will be able to come in when it's dry.
Assess the conditions underneath you. As a team, you've got to be clever. You've got to give your rider information. Your pit board becomes so crucial.
4th place, Nakagami then. 5th for him, and he's coming under real big pressure as well from Petrucci.
Johan Zarco has the grip.
8/10 quicker on that last lap was Johan Zarco. This is a really good battle waging. Brilliant rescue job this has been by Pecco Bagnaia. Started 16th, he came from 11th to the podium, didn't he, in Portimao.
Actually in a race like this where it could go so wrong, don't forget it's his first ever flag to flag as well. Treacherous conditions, 16th on the grid as well. 3rd place. That's how it would stand. Look at that, that's lovely. 16 points between 4 riders heading in.
Some crazy stat after Jack Miller won in Spain a couple of weeks ago. Well over 1,700 days between top two.
It's going to be pretty easy here for Pecco. At the back, Alex Marquez is 5th, it's Petrucci 6th, then Nakagami, Polispargaro, Vinales and Rossi in 10th. Out front, the gap between Miller and Zarco, we'll keep track tabs on that, has come down, but not hugely, not enough.
The World Championship leader, but he's not going to be losing perhaps the big haul of points he feared against this man Fabio Quartararo.
You can keep tracks on all of the riders. 5 seconds the gap has come down to now between Miller and Johan Zarco to go. It's 4.9. Surely now Miller in favour. I hope you're all ready for another hangover again, because it might happen again in the space of 2 weeks. Or will it? Who knows?
With his 1-year contract, he might get dumped by Ducati at the end of the season. I hear he is now about to take will open. He was always one of the big pre-race favourites here. The Ducati likes this stop-and-go Le Mans circuit. It's always still comfortably clear of Johan Zarco.
Is that technically now 3 long lap penalties that Jack Miller has taken? That's something well worth bet. Has dried again. This circuit is so difficult. You have to be precise. Jack alluded to that yesterday in the press conference in his back pocket with 2 laps to go.
Quality ride again by Johan Zarco. He's on course. Those tyres, Steve, will just be squirming like crazy underneath these guys now.
Fabio Quartararo will be quite front, wet. That is destroyed after 20 laps.
You rely so much on your front tyre here, Steve. Every time he flicks it right, he must feel like that front end is just like on a pogo stick.
Well, in the past, in 2 very short moments, across the line we go. It will start now, the last lap of the race. Surely this one is Jack's now. 4.1.
It's been absolutely brilliant. This fires him right back into the championship hunt as well, doesn't it? With a back-to-back 5th races. Doesn't really get much better than that for Gigi Dall'Igna and Claudio Domenicali, who we know is going to be back at home in Borgo Panigale.
Favourites, he finished 9th in the opening races in Qatar and got a pummelling in the media. He then crashed in Portugal.
He buried some demons. He's his toughest critic. Nobody's harder on himself than Jack Miller. He knew the start of the championship wasn't good enough
to go, and he's just got 2 corners left here in Le Mans, and it's going to be a double. 2 weeks ago, that's excellent. 2 Frenchmen should be on the podium joining Miller as Quartararo comes across the line.
Quartararo, massive result for Jack Miller as well. He's absolutely